Hi student, again Priyanka ma'am is here. Today I will discuss some lab oriented program related to digital signal processing. Okay. I think all of you have go through the lecture video of Z transform, inverse Z transform which I have shared you. Okay. So if you go through that video, I think your knowledge regarding Z transform and inverse Z transform will be clear. I know everything all in your book. Already you have a book. Also you can search in Google also. But if you go through this lecture, you have an idea. After that you go through your book. Okay. Now today I will discuss Z transform, its property and inverse Z transform. That means basically in case of DSP we use MATLAB. Okay. What is MATLAB? MATLAB means Matrix Laboratory. Okay. Using MATLAB you can design any type of logical circuit. In case of DSP, here in case of DSP you have Laplace transform, Z transform, then Fourier transform. Now first, why this transformation is required? Basically this transformation techniques are used for analysis of signal more better. Okay. That means if you want to analysis the signal more better, then you can you have to apply this types of transformation technique. Now Z transform, inverse Z transform. How can you perform Z transform, or how can you check the properties of Z transform using MATLAB? That I will show you. Okay. Your first program is Z transform and inverse Z transform of infinite function using command. Now see here infinite function is attached. Now do you know what is a finite function and what is infinite function? I think all of you know. So what is infinite function? Infinite function means the function which we don't know from where it may start or where it may be ended. Okay, that means suppose exponential function. Okay, so exponential function means it may be start from minus, or it may be end at plus. Okay, suppose 2 to the power n. Suppose I am giving you a function 2 to the power n. Now if I ask you that 2 to the power n, so what is the starting point of 2 to the power n? So you will you start to thinking that from where it will be start. But suppose I am saying that suppose you have 5 samples and sample starts from 0. Now the values are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means if I say that you have 5 sample and the sample starts from 0, that means always in your mind it comes that okay, the signal starts from 0, and if I have 5 sample, that means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are my location, and at the 0 I have 1, at the 1 I have 2, like this. Okay. But if I say you that 2 to the power n, that means at that time you will start to think that from where this function will be start. So in that way we can differentiate the infinite function and as well as the finite function. Now in case of MATLAB we can perform Z transform in MATLAB two ways. First is using the definition, that means we all know the definition of what is the definition of Z transform. The definition of Z transform is this. The definition of Z transform is summation n is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity, and it is xn, okay, z to the power minus n. This is the definition of Z transform. Mathematically we can solve Z transform using this formula. Now suppose this formula is not, that means suppose you are asked that you cannot use this formula. So is it possible to perform Z transform? Yes. Without using this definition we can perform the Z transform in MATLAB by using direct command. Which is that direct command? The command which is used to perform Z transform, that is Z trans, Z T R A N S, Z trans. The Z trans command all are written in small, mind it. Okay, so this Z trans command is basically used to perform Z transform in MATLAB. But there is one restriction. What is the restriction? That the Z trans command is mainly applicable for infinite function. So the ztrans command is mainly applicable for infinite function. That means you cannot apply this ztrans for a finite function. Suppose you have two types of function. Suppose a to the power n, this is given to you. Now if you want to perform z transform of a to the power n, then what is the procedure? You can perform z transform using this definition. That means when you apply a to the power n in xn, then it will be, the result is what? Z transform of a to the power n, what is the result? The result is z by z minus a. Now if we want to perform z transform, this z transform in MATLAB, then you can direct use this command z trans. That means if you write down in MATLAB z trans a to the power n, MATLAB will show you the result z by z minus a. But suppose you have some function x, okay, and the values of x is equal to, this is given, that is 1, 2, 3, this is given. Now if you apply z trans on this function, it is not happened. That means this z trans command basically applied for infinite function, not for finite function. So this is a finite function, so if to perform the z transform of finite function, you have to use this definition. Okay, now come to the program. Okay, so this is your program, that is z transform and inverse z transform of infinite function. Okay, now suppose first for this program just take CLC, then Sims. Here, do you know what is Sims? Do you know what is Sims? Already you have used this in signal system, also in control system. So think what is Sims. So after that I will tell you what is this command Sims. Now take a variable x. X is equal to what? X is equal to input, enter the input function x. Okay, now this is the syntax of MATLAB. So then take another variable, say y. Y is equal to what? Z trans of x. Okay, write down. So after that take a variable, take a command, this a printf, the z transform is, and this y. Again, what is Sims? When you enter, so enter the input function. Okay, now if I enter input function like a to the power n, then MATLAB will show you error, because MATLAB cannot understand what is a to the power n. Just I am trying, say this before Sims command I will put one percentile command. So percentile means comment line. That means MATLAB, when you run this program, MATLAB cannot run this line. See what happens. Okay, so Control C, and if you paste it in command window and see, you can see this, and if you press enter here, then your result is what? Then enter the input function. Suppose I want to show the z transform of a to the power n. That means a, then a to the power n. Okay, so press enter. So see, MATLAB will show you an error. Which error? That is to compute limiter, so power. That means there is some error in power. That means MATLAB cannot identify what is a and what is n. That means you have to specify in MATLAB that a and n both are variable of a system. That's why this Sims command is used. Okay, now see, Sims an. Okay, now if you again copy this program and again run this CLC, just clear your screen. Okay, Control V. Okay, now enter the function. Now again write a to the power n. Okay, and press enter. See, your result is what? Z by z minus a. See, here result is shown in a different way. That means here minus is taken common. That means minus z divided by a minus z. That means again if you take minus common, so your result will be z by z minus a. Okay, so got my point why this Sims command is used. Basically, Sims command is used to notify MATLAB that under Sims, that means a, n both are the variable of a system. Okay. Now inverse Z transform. So how can you perform inverse Z transform? Okay, so inverse Z transform, to perform inverse Z transform, you can use IZTrans command. So the result of Z transform is stored in which variable? y variable. Okay, now if you want to perform inverse z transform, that means you have to call y variable. That's why it is written that y1 is equal to I z trans of what? I z trans of y, and again a printf and display. So again copy your program. So this one is your program, and paste in command window. Okay, and press enter. So enter the function again. So your result is a to the power n. Okay, so see, your z transform result is z by z minus a, but in inverse z transform the result will show like this. Okay, that means when MATLAB here perform the inverse z transform, there is some problem in MATLAB that cannot understand that what is a. So give some values of a, so there is some problem. So if you again copy this program and paste here and change your function, suppose 2 to the power n, 2 to the power n. See what happened, your z transform is z by z minus 2 and inverse z transform is 2 to the power n. That means again you come back to your original function. That means in this process, when constant variable, that means suppose a to the power n, b to the power n, c to the power n, so this type of variables are used. So when you perform inverse z transform, there is some error. Okay, so MATLAB cannot understand that when he performs the inverse z transform, so what should be the result. So you have to modify this command such way. So I don't want to make it complicated to you. So when I think when you check, you put your function, that is input function, you put the real value, that means either 1 to the power n, 2 to the power n, 3 to the power n, like this. Put this type of variable, and after that you get your result. Okay, this is your result. For your okay, this is your program. So z transform and inverse z transform. Also I will save this in a word function so that you can get this. Okay, this is your overall program. Okay, and what is your result in MATLAB? When you enter this is your result. I will send you this word also, so that this is your output. Okay, so you can save this. So z transform I will send this file also, so that you can keep a copy for future. Okay, z transform programming. Next, come to the second program. So your next program is z transform of finite function. Now if you have finite function, okay, then how can you perform z transform? So for this, again clear this CLC. Okay, so z transform of finite function. So z transform of finite function means, suppose you have a function, like take a function, suppose x is equal to tell me what I will take. It's a simple function. Suppose x is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. This is your function, and if you have to perform z transform in MATLAB. Now in this case you cannot use z trans command. You have to perform z transform using the definition of z transform. That means you have to understand. That means you have to understand that how can you make your program so that MATLAB will transfer you the result of the Z transform. Okay, so come to the program. That means for this also take sim Z also, because in the definition of Z transform there is one variable, that is Z to the power minus 1. That means what is Z, MATLAB cannot understand. So you have to notify MATLAB that Z is the part of a system. That's why again I am taking sims Z here. Then A is equal to input, enter the starting point, B is equal to enter ending point, and N is equal to A is to 1 is to B. That means can you remember the definition of Z transform? Summation starting point to ending point. That means you have to mention the starting and ending point. Enter the input function. After that y is equal to what? Y is equal to sum x dot asterisk z dot cap whole to the within bracket minus n. I think you all remember that this is the definition of Z transform. See, this is the definition of Z transform. Okay. Now a printf the Z transform is, so this y. Okay. Now if I run this program in command window, then what happens? Copy. So I just minimize this. So paste. Okay, enter the starting point. So what will be the starting point? What I will take? Say your starting point is I will take from minus. Okay, so say minus 1. Okay, then enter, and your ending point is what? Your ending point is say 3. Okay, enter. So enter the input function. Here you can make a line also. That means between ending and starting point how many points are attached. Otherwise you have to calculate this by hand. That means between starting and ending point how many samples values are required. Here I don't mention the limit. That means from ending to starting point how many sample values are required. Okay, so you calculate this. Your starting point is minus 1 and ending point is 3. That means minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. That means you have how many sample? You have 5 sample. So within third bracket you have to put 5 samples. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the sample values, and now put enter. So this is your result. See, in your result you have 5 component, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the result. Okay, now one thing here your starting point is minus 1 and your ending point is 3. Okay, if you starts from minus 1, you can check this by using hand calculation also, that the result is same or not. Okay, so let me write down the formula here. That is, if your starting point is, that means n is equal to what? N is equal to minus 1, 2, 3, xn z to the power minus n. Okay, now when xn, so the what is the sample value? Your sample values were what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the sample values. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, got my point? This is the definition of Z transform, and your sample values were 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, these are the sample values. Now if you want to perform Z transform, so what is the procedure? That means when n is equal to minus 1, your amplitude is what? 1. Now if n is equal to minus 1, that means Z to the power minus of minus 1, that means Z to the power 1, that means 1 into what? 1 into Z plus, then n is equal to 0. What is the amplitude? 2. So 2. Z to the power 0 means 1, that means 2 into 1 plus. Okay, after that 1 into 2, 2 into 2, then n is equal to plus 1, that means 3. 3 Z to the power 1, that means 3 Z inverse, then it will come that 4 Z to the power minus 2 plus 5 Z to the power minus 3. So this is the result. Now if you check that what is the result, see your result is z 3z z 3z 4 by z square, 4 by z square, okay, 3 by z 3 by z 3 by z 4 by z square. Here it is 5 by z cube, and at last you have 2 into 1 means 2. Okay, see, I have calculated this by hand and this is my result. Okay, that means if you calculate this by hand, that means this result and MATLAB result both are same. Now come to the next program. Okay, again put CLC here, clear your screen. Verification of linearity property of Z transform. Next program, verification of linearity property of Z transform. Okay, so in verification of linearity property of Z transform, see what is the statement of linearity property of Z transform? Can you remember this? What is the statement of linearity property of Z transform? According to the linearity property of Z transform, it says that Z transform of A x1 plus B x2, Z transform of A x1 plus B x2 is equal to A x1 z plus B x2 z. This is the statement of linearity property of Z transform. That means you have to take two function x1 and x2. See, here I have taken two function x1 and x2, and your x1 is that here I have taken infinite function. You can take also the finite function. In that case your program will be lengthy. Okay, because if you take infinite function, because here I have a provision that I can take the infinite function. Okay, so if you take the infinite function, then you have to perform Z transform using the definition. That means summation function then z to the power minus n. But if you use the infinite function, then you can directly use the Z trans command. That's why I have taken here infinite function. So see, here I have taken x1 is equal to 2 to the power n, x2 is equal to 5 to the power n. These are two functions. Then what happened? Then x3 is equal to, then multiply some constant with this function, first function, and multiply with constant with the second function. That's why here first function a is equal to 3 and second variable, that is b is equal to 4. So it x3 is equal to 3 into x1 plus 4 into x2, this part a x1 plus b x2. Okay, so here dot asterisk, both multiplication operator is used, because here this 2 to the power n or 5 to the power n behaves like an array. So the rules of array multiplication is you have to use both dot and asterisk. That's why I have taken this two operator. After that, what? Z trans. So that's why y is equal to Z trans what? This x3, because the result of ax1 plus bx2 is stored in which variable? X3 variable. So you have to perform Z transform of x3. That's why y is equal to Z trans of x3, and again show the result. Next come to the second part. That means a into x1 z. That means first perform Z transform of x1. Z transform of x1, that is x1 z. See, x1 is 2 to the power n. So take another variable, say x4. x4 is equal to Z trans of x1. Similarly, x5 is equal to Z trans of what? Z transform Z trans of x2. Okay. So after that you add this. So this a x1z plus b x2z. That means first you have to multiply a with x1z. What is the value of a here? 3. That's why 3 is multiplied with x4. And what is the value of b here? Here b means 4. That's why 4 is multiplied with x5. And x5 means what? x5 means x2. So y1. So again show the result y1. So again you have to compare that if these two results, that means this part is equal to this part, happen or not. If it is okay, then your result will be property satisfied, otherwise property not satisfied. Okay. Next, come to the problem. So I have used one if else condition, that is if y is equal to y1. So what is y? Y is the LHS part and y1 is the RHS part. So property satisfied, otherwise not satisfied. So now you copy this program, that is verification of linearity property. Okay, copy, paste. Okay, here also you make a copy this, because I will send you this program. Okay, so come to the next Control C. This is your program. And if you run this, see, property satisfied. Now see, this is the Z transform result of LHS part and this is the result of RHS part. And you can check this hand also, because here the pattern is quite different. Okay, sometimes the pattern is quite different. So you can check this by hand also. So property satisfied. Control C, and again you copy this program here. Okay, and what is the title of this program? Your title of this program was verification of linearity property. So this is verification of linearity property of a Z transform. So this is your third program. So again just put CLC to clear the screen. Next property, verification of differentiation property of Z transform. Second property. Again, what is the statement of the differentiation property of Z transform? Can you remember? What is the statement of the differentiation property of Z transform? So according to differentiation property of Z transform, it is Z transform of n into xn is equal to minus z ddz minus z ddz of xz. My handwriting is not so good here because I am writing here using this pen. So just think that just you understand that what I want to write. Okay. So the Z transform of n xn is equal to minus z ddz of xz. This is the statement of differentiation property of Z transform. Okay, next come to the program where I can show you. Okay, so again take same nz. So x1 take a function, so 2 to the power n. Now your LHS part is n into xn, that's why n dot asterisk x1. Then y is equal to z trans of what? X2. A printf, so LHS part complete, after that RHS part. So first z trans of what? X1. After that what? ddz of xz, that means you have to perform differentiation. This DIFF differentiation, this command is used to perform differentiation in MATLAB. So diff x3. Okay, x4 is equal to diff x3. Okay, then what? y1 is equal to minus z of x4 dot asterisk x4. So a printf y1. Next again you have to check this property that this is satisfied or not. Okay, so first you copy this program. And check that the program is okay or not. Copy. Okay, then again paste here. See, here your result is shown but property not satisfied. Okay, see here property is satisfied, but the problem is, see here LHS part, the result is 2z divided by z minus 2 whole square. Here also the same result. If you solve this part, this z is multiplied with the whole part. That means z by z minus 2 whole square minus 1 by z minus 2. By hand you calculate this part. Z by z minus 2 whole square minus 1 by z minus 2. After that you multiply your result with this z. And you see your result is just like this. That means this part and this part both are same, but here y1 is shown in a different manner. That's why MATLAB cannot understand. So he that means MATLAB here shows that property not satisfied, but basically this property is satisfied. That's why when you check this type of problem, you can neglect this part. That means put 1 percentile here, so that this program this line will behaves like a percent comment line, so MATLAB doesn't read this line. Okay, but if you check this result by calculating, you see that both the results are same. So what you will do, that is, if you do the program up to this, after that you just show the result and make a comment in your copy where you have to show that this result and the result of this both are same, and after that you write down that property is satisfied. Okay, so got my point, what I want to say. That means if after MATLAB you have y and you have y1 value, but you solve this y1 and see that this result and this result both are same. So you calculate this by hand in your copy and make a comment that property satisfied. Okay, and for this don't use this if else comment. Okay, here is some problem here. That's why MATLAB cannot understand that these two equations are same. Okay, so you try this yourself. Next program. So again write down CLC, clear the screen. Okay, verification of convolution property of Z transform. Okay, verification of, and this is the, I think this is the last one. Yes, this is the last problem. Verification of convolution property of Z transform. Again, you know what is the statement of convolution property of Z transform. The statement of convolution property is Z transform, no sorry, I have to take this one. This statement of convolution property is Z transform of x1 in convolution. This is not circular convolution, normal linear convolution. So Z transform of x1 in asterisk x2n will be equal to what? Will be equal to x1 z into x2 z. That means time domain convolution. After that, if you Z transform the time domain convolution, that is equal to multiplication of Z transform of that function. Okay, so Z transform of x1 asterisk x2n is equal to x1z into x2z. That means time domain convolution means Z domain multiplication. Okay, now come to the program. Okay, so take a variable here to use convolution. That means we know to perform convolution in MATLAB we have a command which is known as conv, C-O-N-V, and this command is applicable for finite function, not for infinite function. That's why I have to take finite function here. See, here I have taken some finite function. Okay, say your x1 is equal to, see your x1 is equal to 1 2 0 1 2. Here I have taken the random function and x2 is equal to this. And here to perform Z transform you have to know what is the starting point and ending point. Here the starting point is 0 because by default MATLAB will take that starting point is 0. Now what is the ending point, and all the length of the signal is same here. See, here it has 5 length, here it has also 5 length. That means if you perform convolution, the result of convoluted signal will be what length? First signal length plus second signal length minus 1. Here the length of first signal is what? 5. Length of second signal is what? 5. That means 5 plus 5 minus 1. So what is the length of the convoluted signal? What is the length of the convoluted signal? Here the length of the convoluted signal will be 5 plus 5 minus 1. That means 9. Now if you start from 0, that means your result of convoluted signal will be from where? From 0 to 8. Okay, and what is the limit of first signal and second signal? The limit is 0 to 4, and for second signal also the limit is 0 to 4 because you have 5 sample. Okay, next, so n is equal to 0 is to 4 because the length of first signal and second signal both are same. That's why I take a same variable n, that is 0 is to 4. Now perform x1z and x2z. Okay, so y1 is equal to sum x1, that means z dot asterisk n, here also x2, that means this is the x1z and this is x2z. Now multiply x1z and x2z. What you will get? That is LHS part. What is the LHS part of the convolution property? That x1z into x2z that I have done here. y1 dot asterisk y2. So then show this result. So after that, again y4. So next what we have to do? You have to perform convolution. Okay, so take another variable, say y4. y4 is equal to what? Conv x1 comma x2, because this is the command. Now what is the result of the convoluted signal? The result of the convoluted signal will be length 9. Now if you start from 0, so it will be 0 to 8. That's why y5 is equal to sum y4z dot to the power n1. This n1 is the new index, okay, for convoluted signal. Now again a printf f5 disk y5. Here also if you use this if else command, the result may be different. That's why it's better that you neglect this if else command, and the result which you get from y and the result which you get from y5 both are same, and you calculate this by hand and check that the result is same or not. I think the result will be same, and after that you make a command that the property is satisfied. Okay, now again if I run this program in MATLAB, so what will happen? Control V, C. This is the result y and this is the result y5, and check these both results are same. Okay, if not same, the result obviously would be same. If not same, then let me know, so then I will check, but this result will be same, and you make a command that the property is satisfied. Okay, now this is all about the Z transform, inverse Z transform, and Z transform, some properties of Z transform using MATLAB. So you try this yourself, and if you face any problem, then let me know. I will solve your problem. Okay, and also I will send you the Word version, that means Word copy of this program and output also, okay, in your Google Classroom. So student, try this. Okay, also there are lots of property of Z transform. You can check scaling property or shifting property using Z transform. You try this. So here you try the shifting property of Z transform using MATLAB. That means you have to check the shifting property of MATLAB using Z transform, and this is your assignment, lab assignment. So you try this. If not happen, then let me know and try this, and if you run this program, or when you run this program, if you face any difficulties, please let me know. Okay.